Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am so incredibly excited for today's guest. She was a powerhouse of comedy, an original not ready for primetime player, and quite frankly, one of the funniest people to ever walk the earth. For those who may somehow not know who you are you?
I'm Gilda Radner. You might remember me from those wild early days of Saturday Night Live, or maybe as Rosanna Dana telling you that it's always something. I just loved making people laugh. It was my favorite thing in the whole world.
We definitely remember. You were a legend. Let's go back to the beginning. When and where were you born?
I was a Detroit girl, through and through. I was born on June 28, 1946, right there in Detroit, Michigan.
And what was your given name at birth?
It was Gilda Susan Radner.
Is there a story behind your birth name?
Well, I was named after my grandmother, but my mother also had a bit of a Hollywood flair in mind. She named me after the movie Gilda, starring Rita Hayworth. Can you imagine? Little me named after a glamorous femme fatale.
That's a lot to live up to. What was your hometown like growing up?
Detroit was a busy, bustling place back then. My father owned the Seville Hotel, so I grew up around all these colorful performers and musicians who were passing through town. It felt very theatrical, even when I was just a little girl.
It sounds like you were surrounded by show business from the start. What was your family life like?
I was very close to my daddy Herman. He was my hero. He'd take me on trips to New York to see Broadway shows, which I just adored. My mother, Henrietta, was a legal secretary. I also had an older brother named Michael. And I can't forget my nanny, Elizabeth Clementine Gillies. We called her Dibby. She was like a second mother to me.
What kind of kid were you?
Oh, I was a handful. I was chubby and loud and always performing. I used to say that I didn't have a stop button. I just wanted everyone to look at me and laugh.
What were your biggest fears growing up?
I think my biggest fear was just not being liked or being left out. I struggled a lot with my weight when I was young, and I was terrified that people would judge me for it. I used humor as a shield. If I made the joke first, it couldn't hurt as much.
That makes so much sense. What did you dream of becoming as a child?
Believe it or not, I actually dreamed of being a writer. I loved Emily Dickinson, and I used to write poetry and short stories in my diary all the time. Later on, I thought I might want to be a teacher for children with special needs.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
I went to an all-girls school called Liggett, and I was all about the drama department. I sang alto in a double quartet and acted in every play I could get my hands on.
What was your first job?
After I left college, I was just one semester shy of graduating from the University of Michigan. I moved to Toronto and worked as a clown at children's parties. I made about $60 a week. It was the best training I could have asked for.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
I think it was when I realized that I could make the cool kids laugh. I wasn't the prom queen type, but I had this power to change the energy in a room just by being silly.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Moving to Toronto to follow a boyfriend. It felt like a romantic whim at the time, but it's where I got cast in the production of Godspell. That show had Martin Short, Eugene Levy, and Victor Garber. It was the start of everything for me.
Talk about a legendary cast. What was your biggest break?
Oh, without a doubt, it was being the first person cast for Saturday Night Live in 1975. Lorne Michaels had seen me perform with Second City and invited me to join this crazy new experiment.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
I battled with eating disorders for a long time. I was constantly dieting or overeating to cope with stress. It was a very private battle that I carried while I was trying to make everyone else smile.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Never. I loved the stage too much. Even when things were hard, the feeling of a live audience laughing was like a drug to me. I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
I was a big list maker. I had to write everything down. And I always made sure to find something to laugh at every single day, no matter how small.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I probably would have been that teacher I dreamed of being. I loved kids, and I think I would have been a very fun, very loud kindergarten teacher.
How did relationships change after success?
It was tricky. You never quite knew if people liked you or the characters you played on TV. But I found such wonderful friends in the SNL cast. They were like my siblings.
Did fame bring happiness?
It brought excitement and opportunities. But true happiness came from the people I loved. Finding Gene Wilder, that was the real jackpot for me.
What was the downside of becoming famous?
The loss of privacy. Suddenly, everyone felt like they owned a little piece of you. And the pressure to always be on and funny was exhausting.
What misconceptions did people have about you?
People thought I was as loud and confident as Rosanna Dana or Baba Wawa all the time. In reality, I could be quite shy and insecure when the cameras were off.
What's something people misunderstood about your life?
I think people thought my life was just one big party because I was on a hit show. They didn't see the long hours, the exhaustion, or the internal struggles I was dealing with.
Tell me about a time when everything went wrong and how did you handle it?
There were nights on live TV where sets fell down or people forgot lines, but you just have to keep going. I learned that if you stay in character and keep smiling, the audience will stay right there with you.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My daddy Herman and my nanny Dibby. Dibby actually inspired my character Emily Litella. She used to tell me, Gilda, if they're laughing at you, laugh with them.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was working on my autobiography, It's Always Something. I also made a guest appearance on It's Gary Shandling's show, which was so much fun. I wanted to show people that you can still be funny even when life gets tough.
When and where and how did you pass away and how old were you?
I passed away from ovarian cancer on May 20th, 1989 in Los Angeles, California. I was 42 years old.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I was actually a second cousin to Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft. Isn't that wild?
That is a very cool connection. What was your most unique habit?
I used to talk to my dogs as if they were people. Full conversations. I'm sure my neighbors thought I was loopy.
What was your favorite food?
Oh, I loved a good corned beef sandwich. Coming from Detroit, I had a real soft spot for Jewish deli food.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
I tell them to stop waiting for everything to be perfect before they start being happy. Life is messy and delicious and unpredictable. Just jump in and enjoy the ride.
Gilda, do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you for remembering me. Life is a beautiful, crazy thing, and if you can find a reason to laugh today, please do it. It makes everything a little bit easier. Thank you so much for having me, Calvin. This was just a delight.
Gilda Radner, everyone. What an absolute joy. From her early days in Detroit to becoming a comedy icon on SNL, Gilda showed us that humour is the ultimate way to connect. Thank you so much for being here, Gilda. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.